Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. I apologize for my absence as shortly after I made my last video, I wound up catching one of those wonderful late summer bugs that's been going around here in Colorado. So my first priority, of course, was healing myself up so that I could be there for especially my cousin and my family. Update on her. She is definitely moving in the right direction. Very slowly, of course, which to me is a good thing because, it's going to take a lot of time to heal the extent of her injuries. While the doctors are a bit concerned with her cognitive responses, it's one of those things that they can't really tell the extent until they do an MRI. So as soon as that happens, as soon as that's able to happen, I will try to keep you guys updated as much as I can. But as I said, she is still moving in the right direction, and grateful that she is, and she's alive. And the last time I saw her, she did open up her eyes and seemed to respond to both me and my aunt. So I'm very grateful for that, very happy. Another thing that has been happening is a very dear friend of mine experienced a very great loss, and it brings me to one of the questions that was asked, and was, what did I do to deserve this? Truthfully, that's a fair question, and it's a question that I've asked myself, many times as well, especially after the losses that I've endured, the trauma that I've endured, and it's a very, very common question. One of the things that I said was, unfortunately, that line of thinking is just is along the same lines as asking, what did my cousin do to deserve what happened to her? Truthful answer is nothing. Nobody deserves for these traumas and things to happen to them. It's unfortunately not fair. And I mean, as much as I don't usually agree with the sentiment of it is what it is, sometimes that is kind of the mentality that you've got to take with life, is that bad things happen to good people sometimes, and it is unfortunate, but it is true. Now, the thing about that is, for a lot of people, there are things that can be learned from these situations, For me, after the many things that have been happening to me, I took a lot of that into introspection, Not in the case of what did I do to deserve this, but in the case of how can I grow from this, What can I do to help myself heal from these things that have happened? And sometimes it just takes time. Sometimes it takes, that question to yourself that truly starts the path of healing. a while ago on Valentine's Day, Magnetize Yourself had brought up the question, or brought up the point of, if you are not in a relationship, make sure to show yourself some really good self-love that day. And so I actually kind of externalized myself and had a conversation, and said, what can I do to show you some very good self-love? And I was actually kind of surprised by the first thought that came into my mind was, I just want to cry, and I don't want to be stopped, Many times we have this idea that we have to put on a brave face, and we can't show our vulnerabilities to other people. And a lot of times that's out of fear that people will hold our vulnerabilities against us. So it is fair, But at that time, I was just like, you know what? No good person is going to hold my vulnerabilities against me. And if they do, that's not somebody I want in my life. And that's not somebody I want around me for very long. So I let myself cry. And, it was one of those and it was that realization right there that, no matter how many things I've been through, it's going to hurt. It's, sorry, I'm getting attacked by bugs here. I should probably move out from underneath the tree. But I came to the realization that, say you cut your finger open and it heals up. Well, if you cut your finger open again, even if it's on the exact same spot, actually probably especially if it's on the exact same spot, it's still gonna hurt. And so being authentic with your feelings and being vulnerable, at least with yourself, it's not a bad thing. It's being true to yourself. It's showing yourself the understanding that you need, and sometimes that you seek out from other people. Show yourself that understanding. Show others how to treat you in these situations by being understanding to yourself and being vulnerable with yourself. Showing yourself some love. Like I said, bad things happen to good people. But be good to yourself. That's the best way to start healing and start helping yourself. So, I will keep you guys updated. If you like my messages, if you like my style, subscribe and like and comment. I'd like to hear how, at least a story from somebody about the times that you showed yourself like true understanding and some self-love. All right? We'll see you next time. Be good to yourself.